We often look at watches just as, tools,
Yeah.
functional things. But sometimes a watch tells a story. It becomes something more like a piece of a world on your wrist.
Exactly. And today, we're doing a deep dive into a perfect example of that, the G Shock Evangelion edition.
Right, that collaboration between Casio G Shock and the anime Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yeah. So our mission for you listening is to really unpack the design details here, look at what it means for collectors, the actual market impact, and also touch on some of the, let's say, criticisms around this kind of limited release.
Okay, let's get into the design then, because that seems core, and they didn't just, slap a logo on any old G Shock, did they?
No, not at all. The sources are clear. It's based on the GA110 model. And that specific model actually appeared in the first Evangelion movie.
Okay, so there's history there already.
Right. Instant connection for fans. And the look.
Yeah?
Well, it screams EVA Unit 1. That signature purple, the neon green. It's really bold. You can't miss it.
Definitely unmistakable.
Yeah.
But you mentioned deeper details.
Oh, yeah. It goes beyond just the colors. You've got the spear motif running across the band, the Nerve logo, of course. Pretty standard stuff for a collab, maybe. But then there are these, real fan service nuggets, things only diehard fans might pick up on immediately.
Like what?
Well, first, look at the 9 o'clock indicator, the design there. It's deliberately meant to echo the angel Sekil.
Sekil, the third angel. Right. Wow. Okay. That is specific?
Exactly. And maybe even more obscure is the CUM Genesis marking.
CUM Kinesis.
Yeah.
Where's that from?
It's deep lore stuff, a key kind of ceremonial artifact within the Evangelion universe. So you're literally wearing a piece of the show's mythology.
Huh. Okay, they went all in on the details.
They did. And to seal the deal as a collector's item, the case back has this special 30th anniversary engraving, designed by Yoshiyuki Yamashita, apparently.
So all these design elements really position it as, wearable art for fans. But underneath it all, it's still a GA110.
Fundamentally, yes. It keeps all that G Shock toughness, the shock resistance, 200-meter water resistance, world time features. All the standard stuff is there.
Which brings us to the price. Does that story, that applied narrative, as you put it, justify a big price jump?
Well, that's the interesting part. Let's look at the economics. In Japan, the retail for this GA110 EVA 30 model was 37,400 yen. That's what, roughly $250?
Okay, $250 retail. What about the secondary market? For something limited, with those deep cuts, you'd expect a big markup, right?
You would think so, but the listings we're seeing are hovering maybe between $280 and $330.
Wait, seriously, only like a $30 to $80 increase? That seems kind of low for a hyped collector's piece.
It does seem a bit low, yeah. And that points directly to the main critique people had.
Which was?
Value, basically. Fans love the look, the boldness, but some reviewers felt that extra cost, the difference between a standard GA110 and this Evangelion one, was tough to swallow. You're essentially paying that premium, maybe $80 or so, purely for the IP, the paint job, the story, not for better tech.
So it's a clear case study in pricing intellectual property on a watch.
Precisely. It's valuing the narrative.
Okay, so you get the story, but there are trade-offs. The sources mention some practical downsides, too.
Yeah, a couple of things. One is just the size. The GA110 is a big watch. It might just be too large for smaller wrists, realistically.
Right, not exactly subtle.
And the design itself, while cool for fans, is very busy, high contrast, lots going on. If you prefer something minimal for everyday wear, this probably isn't it.
Makes sense. And the collector aspect brings risks, too.
Definitely. Because it is limited, it holds collector appeal. But that means if you're buying now, likely from a reseller, you absolutely have to verify it's authentic. Do your homework.
Good point. You're not just buying the watch, you're buying its connection to that universe, and you want the real deal.
Exactly. You want that authentic fragment of the universe on your wrist.
So wrapping this up then, the G Shock Evangelion Watch really works on two levels. It's a tough, functional G Shock, but it's also very much a piece of memorabilia.
Yeah, but that fusion comes at a cost. Both literally, in the price premium, and maybe aesthetically, depending on your taste. You have to accept that trade-off.
It leaves you, the listener, with something interesting to think about, I think.
Which is?
What actually makes something like a watch cross that line?
Yeah.
When does it stop being just technology and become, well, a piece of culture, a coveted story you can wear?
That's the core question, isn't it? It's rarely just about the mechanics inside. It's about the bigger story it carries, the narrative.